life, mental illnesses, testicles, apples, love,
politics,
global hunger,
video games,
premature ejaculation.
Words of wisdom.
Hello friends, welcome to another episode of I Play Games and Film It, and welcome indeed to the end of this week, which means we've got an episode of Words of Wisdom on the way. This is episode 5 we're on to now, and again, say thanks to everyone who's participated so far. It's just been great fun, and I hope it continues. So keep on asking questions, continue asking questions, don't ever stop, never stop being curious about things. But away we go, right, okay, first question comes in from Scott S, who allows us to start this episode rather wonderfully. He asks, how much to sleep with me? It would depend on how much it costs to change my sexuality. That's the only thing I would say. That if you can find out how much that costs, then that is indeed how much it costs. Alright, you figure that out and then get back to me on that one. Okay, thanks for the question, Scott. On to the next one. Now, this is interesting because it's from James B, and it's kind of like a series of questions. He's made it quite interesting for me, and I don't actually know a lot of the questions in this. It's kind of like a game almost. I have to say it's quite convoluted, but I'll give it a go. And we'll see how it works. So, we'll start off. Breast or leg? He said both senses of the question. Well, I guess I actually prefer, in terms of chickens, I actually prefer the breast. But in terms of the marvelous female form, I'm actually more of a leg person, to be honest. I think a really good looking leg gets me going better than a really good pair of tits. I know that sounds ridiculous to some, but honestly, it's the legs, always in the legs. I don't know why. That would be the case, I guess, as long as they're doing the squats and so on and so forth. I don't really mind so much about the titties. That's the answer to that. What did I have for breakfast? Today, I had McDonald's. I know, that's terrible. I went into work and I hadn't actually had a chance to eat, and it turned out my boss was really hungover and he brought himself a McDonald's to make himself feel better, but he was so ill that he couldn't eat it, so I ate it. So that's what I had for breakfast. What do you have planned for dinner? I haven't got anything planned for dinner because I'm probably going to be finishing work quite late tonight, so I don't know at this stage. I don't know, I'm afraid, but we'll see. It's probably going to be like a sandwich or something. I'll really just have a little snack, but yeah, it's nothing huge. That's what I could say. Dominant or controlled? Why? I immediately put that in a sexual context, which says something, I suppose. Fuck it, I'm a man. That's what we do. We think with our balls. So dominant or controlled? That's weird. I mean, I'm even actually going to say I go both ways. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think in all the contexts. Actually, you know what? In all the contexts, I'd kind of like to be controlled. Really? I guess it depends on what extent it goes to. Same with the dominance. I mean, I don't want to be in complete control, nor do I want to be completely controlled. If I were to pick between the two, I would, which I guess I have to, yeah. I have to pick between the two. That's the whole point of the bloody show. Yeah, control. I mean, dominant. Sorry, I would rather be dominant, I guess. I just wouldn't feel comfortable with complete dominance. It's not something I think anyone should ever have, and it's not something I think I feel comfortable with. Probably because I've never been in complete dominance of anything, so I don't know what it's like, and I don't know what it would require me to do. So, yeah. No, I'll say dominant anyway, because cop out. Whatever. Dominant. Okay, so the next question, and this is where it starts to get a little convoluted. I've got to try and keep up with it now. So, night in or night out? I would say night out. That would be my answer to that. So then I've got to look over here. Nando's or pub? Pub. Obviously, if I'm going out, I might as well be the bloody pub. Why would I go to Nando's on a night out? No. Be pub, definitely. And then after that, it says slow walk or nightclub. I would go slow walk because I hate nightclubs. believe it or not, I actually have a tad bit of social anxiety. I don't like nightclubs. I find them far too loud. I don't like drunk people. I find them far too obnoxious, even though I myself, when I get drunk, can become that person. I can't deal with them. I really dislike them. I know it's kind of silly because of my job and what it entails, but I just don't like it. I don't like nightclubs. I don't like the whole nightclub scene. It's not my thing. It really isn't. So yeah, it would definitely be slow walk. The reason I say pub is because it's not a nightclub scene. For those of you who might argue that there. All right. Oh, excuse me. And then there's a final part to this row of questions that James B has thrown at me, which is the final question. I'm a protrusion that comes in many sizes. When I'm not well, I drip. When you blow me, you feel good. Oh, Jesus. What am I? Is that a nose? Is that a nose? Pretty sure that's just a nose. I'm going to say with nose. Yeah? We'll go with nose. It's a nose. Cool. Good. Alright, excellent. So that's that section of questions done from James. Thank you, James. And thanks for trying to be creative with that. I don't know how well I'm going to respond to those in future. But thanks for giving that a go. Interesting. So next question comes in from you marvellous people over at the Needs. Hello, everyone. Hi there. Starts from Sarah S, who asks, what's your favourite console of all time and why? My favourite console of all time and why is the PlayStation 2. It's where the majority of my good gaming memories were born. I mean, I've had good gaming memories with all the consoles, don't get me wrong at all. The PS2 is the one that's kind of held the fastest, if that makes sense. It also had just the largest collection of games that I think I've been through as well. So I've actually played the most amount of games on the PS2, and some of them are still my favourite. Some of them I still play today. So, for example, the God of War series, which, as you know from the last episode of Words of Wisdom, my favourite games of all time, was on PS2. SSX 3 is on PS2. Death Down Fight for New York is on PS2. Need for Speed Underground was on PS2. Oh, there are some others. Mark of Cree was on PS2. I think I've got that here as well. Black, that was on PS2. There are just all these games that I played that just were fascinating to me at the time. All released on PS2 and all became the reason of that console. I would own that console to the death without a question, and I would continue to play them today. And in fact, I'm trying to figure out a way to play some of those games and film them at the moment because I want to. I would want to have that sort of fun. I don't know if it works as a series, so I'm just kind of figuring out whether or not it's worth doing. But yeah, it would have to be PlayStation 2 without a shadow of a doubt. Don't get me wrong, I did love the other consoles I had, but the PS2's got to win. Also, I will say unashamedly as well, the PS2 was the console I remember I spent one summer with. Oh, the summer nights and the summer days. It was the summer that I'll never forget, where I basically truly became one of those antisocial gamers. The guy who literally sat in his room, didn't go out, didn't go anywhere, didn't have friends, go to parties and chase down girls and all that. I stayed in and I played PlayStation 2. That's what I did. And I do not regret a single second of it. My penis and my balls probably do. I don't at all. And will constantly be in conflict with that. Yeah, that'll be why. So thank you very much for the question, and yeah, maybe we'll see you again next week. Thank you very much. On to the next and final question for this week, which comes in from our consistent questioner, Holy Needs 10. Who asked, do you read manga? No, I don't. I don't. I never read manga. I watched manga, but I never read it. And I actually responded back to that question quickly, saying I'm really glad you asked, because it's something I've wanted to kind of get back into. Again, not the reading part so much, to be honest, sorry, but more the watching part, because I used to watch a lot of manga, and I've actually watched a little bit of it recently. My favourite series at the moment, by a long stretch, is Cowboy Bebop. Absolutely love that show. I love it a lot. And I watched the movie as well. And it just every time I watch it, I keep thinking, oh, you really should get back into this. It's phenomenal stuff. I loved Ninja Scroll. I thought that was an incredible film. Absolutely adored it to bits as well. And I watched the Afro Samurai series as well. But you know what killed it? I think I went a little bit too dark too quickly. I watched a film, and bear in mind this is before. How old was I? I must have been. I was quite young. And I don't think it was. I was quite ready to experience these things. With my poor little fragile mind. I watched a film called Perfect Blue, which has some rather graphic violence in it, and I believe a rape scene as well. That just. As a youngster, I think I probably shouldn't have thrown myself into. But being a youngster, I found it quite fascinating and was just like, oh wow, this is forbidden. I'm watching it. Oh, it's so cool. You know, your kids are. And then I kind of kept pushing the barriers of other stuff that I'm not going to tell you exactly what. Other stuff that I started watching, and it got to a point, and I watched a film called Ichi the Killer, and it was the manga version of that film. And that was the line. That was the line for me, and I kind of just stopped watching for a long time. It ruined me. It scared me, and it freaked me out. And I was just like, I need to stop. With this. I couldn't do it genuinely. So I stopped watching manga for a long time. Then I going through my DVDs again. I found Cowboy Bebop. Started getting into it again. Realized how much I loved it. I wanted to watch Afro Samurai again. I want to watch Ninja Scroll again. Oh yeah, and Spriggan. I've got Spriggan as well here. Oh, fantastic stuff. Yeah. So I tried to get back into it. I think I still could, but I'm always aware that this Ichi the Killer exists. I think I still got it. Can I? Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's on my shelf, just sat there, being untouched for years. Yeah. So I don't know if I could read manga. Don't ask me why, I'm not sure. I guess I never got into the comic book thing or the manga book thing. It never grabbed me. But perhaps I could. Perhaps I could try it one day. We'll see. Maybe I could give it a go. But we'll see. But yes, that is it. That concludes the questions for this week. Thank you everyone for taking part again. Thanks for all those who asked questions. Every week, I will say this, every week, please don't feel restricted to one question per week, because I'm aware that some of you guys will ask a question quite early on, and it might feel like ages before it gets answered, because obviously, you gotta wait the whole week. But if you want, just ask lots of questions. Ask multiple questions. Just throw them at me, and I will answer them all. I'm just concerned here, obviously, if I get sent like 100, that's going to be one hell of a long video for a Sunday afternoon. But it's great. It means that I have stuff to answer, and that's what I like to see. I like to see people wanting to know stuff, or at least wanting to know Dan's perspective on stuff. But yes, as per usual, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for taking part. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I will see you all tomorrow for an episode of I Play Games and Film It, and again next week for another episode of Words of Wisdom. You guys take care, be wonderful, and have a wonderful day. See ya, bye-bye.
Words of Wisdom.